Aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report post-game show. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm here to talk to you about all things blues. I hope to be joined here shortly by a couple of friends, and we'll get on to this game. You know, I know a lot of people are going to look at this one and go, "Oh, we screwed up. This was bad." I'm sorry. This is considered a tough loss in my book, right? When you go into the third period tied and lose, that's a tough loss, and it was a 5-4 loss. And the goal was, a lucky goal. It wasn't a great goal. Bennington played okay today. He didn't play great. He didn't play out of his head. The defense let him down, and it's a makeshift defense, and we get that. And it's a makeshift second or third and fourth line, and we get that. But there's some good things to take from this from this game, and there's some bad things to take from this game. And the one thing that I take away a negative right here, right now, is the power play. The power play is definitely got to figure out a way to get better. And there's nothing else other than that to say right now. So, hey, for everybody watching, I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. This is the Blue Note Fan Report. Please don't forget to throw some thumbs in the air. Give me some like, give me some love. Share this out. Let people know that you're watching. Let people know to come watch. Aloha. Let's talk some Blues hockey. So this game, this is a tale of three games. There are three different games here. First, you have the first period. And in the first period, the Blues did not in any way, shape, or form look like they understood how they were playing or what they were playing. Oh, I got somebody new. Brian, welcome. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. You're absolutely right. We'll talk about that. So in the first period, the Blues just didn't seem like there was any cohesion, any chemistry, anything that you could look at and say, this was good. Because it wasn't. There was no good to it. It was just bad. There was no, and they gave up two goals, and they gave up two goals on very bad play. Very bad play. Oh, man, I have getting a couple of new people. Jeff Horseman, I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome. And then my buddy, Chris Thompson. And Jeff, you're right. In that first period, it was lackluster all over the place. There was just no cohesion whatsoever, and they give up two goals. So they go into the second period down, and at this point you're hoping for something better, but then you have this track meet, and this track meet really left things out. The track meet kind of messed me up a little bit. And it's not what you're used to seeing the Blues do, but they were able to score 4 goals in that second period. And they scored 4 good, hard goals. Not tip-ins, not dump-ins, they scored 4 goals going down there and getting it. So that's the type of play that we like to see. But then came the third period, and in the third period, all that mo went away. All that mo absolutely, completely went away. Hey, guys, let me welcome Lance DeScott from the Drop Podcast. I can't wait to talk Blues hockey with Lance. I'd love to hear what he says. I see him still getting set up. Let me come back up here. Brian, who's new, says power play was rough tonight. Yes, it was. Michael Dante, hey, buddy. The game-winning goal rolled across Bennington's back. It did, yeah. It bounced off his back. We need faster young, fast players. Costin Walker. I don't know about Walker having speed. Walker's more of a tough guy. Darkness. Blues costed himself a victory by way too many turnovers. Yeah, that's something that we need to talk about. Absolutely. Hey, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Hey, buddy. Lance, welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. How are you doing, my friend?
I'd be doing better if it was 5-4 Blues, but it was just one of those up and down games. We know this team in the past has had a tendency to get a 2-0 lead and then give it up. But this time they came back, they fought hard, and just as bad as their second period was in the last game against San Jose, total opposite in the second period of this game. And what can you say about Jordan Kyrou? 2 assists and a goal. I certainly hope that Craig Berube, when he goes home at night, sits there and thinks, man, I should have given this kid a little more opportunity last year, and let him learn from his mistakes. Because I think he could have been a better player. Would the Blues have gotten further in the playoffs? Probably not, because they were gassed. A few of the guys that had COVID, and like we've discussed before, when you have COVID, even when you're not an athlete, you're not going to be better in 2 weeks. You're not going to be better in 3 weeks. It's going to take you a good 4 to 8 weeks until you are totally healthy. So it was a good game, back and forth. I was impressed with San Jose, how they kind of took the play and got those 2 quick goals. I don't think Bennington had a bad game. The defense let him down in a couple times, but I will say it looked like to me as a goalie, some of those shots he was fighting. And when you're fighting the shots, that's not good. When it's coming easy to you and it just feels like it's just something you do every day, you can tell. And somewhat it looked like he was fighting it a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I did see that a little bit. I think the first turnover in the first period with that goal going in, sometimes now even you as a goalie, you're supposed to forget things. But when you make the turnover that costs the goal, I think that's harder to forget. Wouldn't you say that? And maybe that's where some of that momentum came from, or some of that just being off a little bit.
Well, you can be hard, on yourself, but be hard on yourself after the game, because if you're too hard on yourself when it happened, you hit the, you hit the ice with your stick, or hit the goal or the goalpost with the stick or the top bar. You grab a drink of water, you turn around and say, okay.
Hold on a second. They're talking to Kyrou. I want to bring Kyrou on.
Second period, we had a lot of momentum going our way, and it just sucks to give that one up. And I mean, we played a great game. It's a tough loss.
Did they do anything different on their penalty kill? You guys had a power play to begin the third period, and then you had one with 4.5 minutes to go. Was there any changes that maybe surprised you guys?
Maybe they're a little more aggressive today. I don't know. We just gotta bear down. We gotta find a way to bury.
Well, I know it's tough talking about individual accolades when you lose a game, and it is a team sport. But boy, this is your first NHL 3-point game, Jordan, and playing with veterans like David Perron and Ryan O'Reilly. And I know that you likely came into this game knowing with all the injuries that you had to really get her going. And boy, did you ever! You must have felt great out there.
Yeah, I was just trying to get back to my game. Just working hard, competing, and I thought I did that tonight. But it's unfortunate we lost, and we got to come back next game even harder.
Okay, so Jordan had a couple of good things to say there. He was not too happy talking. You can see, I don't know if you were watching this, but you could see his eyes were looking. He was not into this interview at all. But he did talk about getting to their game and getting to his game. Do you feel like he got to his game tonight?
I think he did. Overall, I didn't see him make really any mistakes that maybe even a veteran player would make. They all make mistakes every game, but I thought he played one of his better games. And that's for me, that's hard to say, because in most games this year, he's looked really, really good. To me, the difference in this game, it was the way that San Jose approached the penalty kill. In the other game, they kind of stood back, let the Blues pass it around. They were much more aggressive to get onto the shooter quickly. If I think the Blues were 0 for 3 on the power play.
Yep.
And that's a huge difference in these type of games, 5-4, 4-3, those 1-goal games. When you're 0 for 3, if you just score one of those goals, we're talking about going to overtime and giving yourself a chance to win. Or if you don't make a defensive mistake like Vince Dunn made against Marleau there, I think Patrick Marleau is probably going to have to go back to the nursing home tonight. I mean, this guy never stops playing. He just continues to play for San Jose for all those years, goes to Toronto. San Jose wants him back, and he doesn't look bad. I'm not saying he's a great player as good as he was 10 years ago, but he doesn't make a fool of himself on ice, at least.
No, he doesn't. And he's going to break. He will break the record this year for most games played.
Yeah, right? I think he definitely will, unless he gets injured.
Yeah, unless he gets injured, he's going to break that this year. He's definitely coming on. Kyrou had a good game. There were some guys that had good games. Sanford had a better game. I don't want to say he had a great game, but he had a better game. Hoffman, all over the place, had a great game. Rugg had a good game. Falk Falk is definitely creeping into that echelon of elite defensemen in my eyes. I mean, he may not be on the score sheet, but he does so much out there.
Yeah, in my mind, right now, Justin Falk is the top 20 NHL defenseman. You know, they always put Pietrangelo in the top 5 or number 7, or a couple of years ago he was number 10. If you can't say Justin Falk is top 20 right now the way he's playing, then something's wrong with you. He's playing defense well. He's scoring some goals. He's just, and like I said, he's on the right side. He's on his right side where he's used to playing when he, before he came to the Blues. And that's huge. I mean, it's just totally huge. It's like taking a goaltender and telling him to take off your pads and play center. Well, yeah. He might be able to skate and do something good, but he's not going to be great at it. And another guy I thought that I loved his feistiness tonight, and I know you're going to agree with me, was Perron. Perron didn't let Burns push him around, and Burns can get in people's heads very easily. When Burns would push back on him, Perron's like, "Hey, let's go. You want to go? Let's do it." And
I seen that. Perron was definitely on there.
And one thing I did want to say, I'm going to tell you something. There's embellishment, and then there's questionable embellishment. Though that last goal or that last penalty against San Jose, and they called embellishment on the Blues. You could say it was, but if you're going to say that is, every time a player falls down from getting tripped or hit, you better call embellishment.
Yeah, you can see him pulling back. And you can. Yeah. He knows, and here's the thing about that. He knows if he doesn't do that, Hoffman gets to that puck.
Yeah, easily.
One-on-one, as a breakaway.
Yeah,
right. So
easily.
I mean, for them to call embellishment on there, that's almost a penalty shot. Right? I mean, that's on the borderline of a penalty shot.
It would have been close to a penalty shot if it would have been a little more obvious and closer to him coming in on the goalie. If it had been 10, 15 feet out and the guy did that, it would have been a lot closer to being called a penalty shot.
Well, what I'm saying is if he gets past him at that blue line, and that's where it happens.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
That's the same, to me, that's the same as a guy being on a breakaway. Stopping a breakaway and a guy being on a breakaway, what's the difference?
Yeah, I have never, and the whole time I've played and watched hockey, I've never seen a guy called for a penalty shot when he's not at least 5-10 feet over the blue line. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. I get it. I'm just saying that.
No, I fully understand what you're saying. Yeah, it was very similar because I've seen that same move made to stop guys that are 15, 20 feet out from going in on the goalie alone, and they call it a penalty shot.
Yeah. So, hey, let's bring in, I got my buddy. Are you ready, buddy? Okay, so I got my buddy who's probably got a little bit of yelling and screaming to do, Mason from Blues Fan, and I'm going to call you by your new name, Rants. Welcome, man. Hey, before I get into you, I want to bring this comment up, and this might be a comment for you to talk to, Mason. It says, is it me or do the Blues panic when it can't set up? It seems like they can't think unless it's in the plan. What do you think about that? Because I gotta go ahead.
I think they're right. The Blues panic. They overthink on the power play. It doesn't make sense to me. They're so good of a team. If you look at these power play lines, they're fucking disgusting. It's so good. And the fact that they just overthink things and they let the other team come back in it, and they allow them to defend just so easily just doesn't make any sense to me. By the way, welcome to the new setup. Holy shit. But
hey, it looks good, man.
God,
it looks good.
It just doesn't make any sense to me, I'm kind of at a loss for words on this one.
Yeah, I'm listening to O'Reilly right now. Can't really hear what he's saying, but that's fine. No, so hey, Lance, let me talk to you about this. So you and me have talked about power play a lot in our talks. And, Mason's right. This power play should be clicking at a 25 to 30% range. What do you think is the issue on the power play?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're probably not going to believe me. Most NHL coaches do not spend a ton of time practicing the power play. A lot of them do not do that. They may spend a little bit of time, and you even heard Craig Berube, I believe, on one of his last interviews on 101 ESPN. He even said that after practice, he said it was a good practice, and they spent just a little bit on penalty killing. To me, you've got to spend more time on that. It's got to be more fluid. You don't have to set these guys and go here, go here, go here, do that. You just need to make them comfortable with each other. And sometimes guys make one move too many, and that one move too many makes them lose the puck, or they one pass too many. And the Blues have always been that way, at least in the last 2 or 3 years. Even when Hitchcock was here, they would overthink it. Don't overthink it. Get the puck. If you don't have a shot, find somebody that's open, get it to them. Same with them. If you get the puck, you don't have a shot, find somebody that's open and keep moving. After you get rid of that puck, keep moving. Do not stand still. Keep moving to get yourself open. And sometimes it's like Mason said, that they just think too much. And somebody asked me on a direct message, what's wrong with Vince Dunn? And well, in my personal opinion, the guy's got a lot of offensive talent. Is he the best defenseman in the world? No, he's not. He's overthinking things. He is overthinking things. And just like any player on the ice, when you overthink things, you make mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching a 6-on-5. No, that was it was the 6-on-5 when they had the Ryan O'Reilly goal.
Yeah.
You see what they did there, the movement around the puck, that was very, very well. And it doesn't happen on the power play. And you're absolutely right. Chris Sockley, a guy been preaching for a while now, Kiss. I want to bring up this comment here. It says, I'll argue this till the end of the time. Your penalty kill must be better than your power play. It's fine with the shitty power play, but your damn penalty better be good. The Devils of the late 90s won cups in the league with the worst power play. And he also had another comment I wanted to bring up. He said he was very impressed the way the Blues are overcoming obstacles, how banged up they are. It has to be close to a 60-man games lost due to injuries for the Blues. And it is pretty high. So
can I just say one thing real quick, Dan?
Yeah.
They had a good penalty kill, but they also had what I mentioned before the game, something called the neutral zone trap. That's what helped them win them cups. And of course, having Brodeur, in my mind, one of the top 3-4 goalies of all time, that's what helped them win the cups. Their penalty kill was very good, but it was because of that neutral zone trap. Very rarely did the guys rush in on Martin Brodeur, and when they did, he was there to make the save.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So, Mason, what are you thinking right now, buddy?
He's thinking about a hamburger.
No, I'm thinking of some Del Taco nachos right about now.
Oh,
that
you're
sounds
killing
pretty
me.
good.
You're
no,
killing
I'm just sending the tweet, letting everyone know I'm live here. But there's a lot going through my mind and not a lot going through my mind. There's a lot of, we blew it. There's a lot of how dare they give me hope. There's a lot of why do you decide to show? It seems like the Blues decide when they want to show up. It's not like they want to stick around for the whole game. It's not like they want to play the full 60 minutes. They just like, oh, I feel like showing up now. I guess let's do that. What's got me really hung up right now is they had such a golden opportunity on that puck over the glass penalty with 5 minutes left, and they just didn't do anything.
Yeah, they look bad.
Their passes, their passes were pretty crisp at the first start, and then Falk decided to be a little fancy and everything just fell apart. I knew once that puck exited the zone, and there was still a minute 40 to go in that power play. Once that puck exited the zone, I knew, this penalty is not going to do anything. If we're just going to keep doing that, there was just no belief. There was no momentum. There was nothing. It was just, it's like they just wanted to get off the ice. I didn't see, there were some crisp chances, with almost at the very end there that were just off the marks. But
Mason,
many players just didn't show up this game, and it baffles me.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I started my podcast, and it was a YouTube podcast with my younger son, and we did videos like you're doing now and upload them to YouTube. And that was at the end of 2015, 2016. And do you know how many times I have thought the exact same thing you're saying? And that was with Hitchcock, and even before Hitchcock. Why do these guys look like world beaters for a period and a half, and then they look like a major junior hockey team?
Look like the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah. I've never understood that. Being a player, you're going to have off periods and on periods, but you should always be out there giving your best. And times they stand around. It looks like they're in mud. And then all of a sudden it looks like they just forgot all their fundamentals that they were taught when they were in midgets or when they were 13, 14 years old. It just baffles me, and it's frustrating. I've been frustrated with it since, for years now. And the players change, the coaches come and go. It's just something. And you do see that with other teams. And maybe we're kind of looking at it because, it's our team. Because I've watched some games where, even Crosby looks bad, even McDavid. There was games where Gretzky looked bad. Not very many, though. But, there was games that you just look at it and go, do these guys know they're playing hockey? And tonight was one of those when San Jose got up to a 2-0 lead, I'm thinking, they just don't look like they want to be here. I mean, San Jose played pretty good in that first period for most of it, but they didn't look like the same team that started off in the first period in the last game.
Right. Well, at that second, with what was it, like from 15 minutes left in the second all the way to the end of the second, the Blues just dominated the play 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
San Jose couldn't get a damn thing on net. If the Blues play like that, how many games are they losing?
If they play like that for just a period and a half of each game, they're going to win probably 75% of their games.
Yeah, but if they play like that the entire game, I have a hard time believing this team is losing to anybody. It was ridiculous how good the momentum was. I mean, I've been watching this team. I've been seriously watching this team since like the 09-10 season. And I remember just specifically watching that third period after San Jose got the lead until the end of the game and just going, this is the same damn team.
It's over.
I've seen this story before. We've all seen it 100 times before. When the Blues won the cup, they didn't play like this.
No, they had some bad periods or bad 5 minutes or 10 minutes here and there. But as a whole game, I would say probably 85 to 90% of the time, their foot was on the pedal. They were playing other good teams, and other good teams scored against them and made them look bad at times. But you could tell those players were all on the same mindset, and their foot was just pedal to the metal. And we didn't see that last year in the playoffs. I thought we saw it in the regular season, and it just ticks me off that COVID came along, because I honestly think the Blues would have made it to the Cup Finals again if not for COVID. I think crazy.
I think
we're crazy, but I think they would have.
I think we're going back to back for sure. We had all the momentum going. We were on like a 7-game win streak.
Yeah, it was 7 or 8 games
going out, and it was just I know without COVID, the Blues are going back to back in that season for sure.
Yeah. So hey everyone, welcome. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. This is I'm here joined by Blues Fan Reacts, Mason, and by Lance from the Drop Podcast, and we're talking about the Blues 5-4 loss to the San Jose Sharks. Now, there is one thing in the first period that I saw, and you said that you didn't think that they were ready to play out there, or they didn't want to be out there. I saw a team that didn't trust each other, right? I think with all those line changes, there was just so much confusion. There was no communication. And it seemed like in a second, especially towards the middle of the second, that they really started communicating with each other, and it got much better. And then they go into the intermission and they come out and they stop communicating again.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. And communication, when you're on a line that you play on all the time, it's pretty easy. It comes easy. And, people say, well, they're all professionals. Well, if you play with a guy on your line 90% of the time, you're used to his tendencies. If you go back behind that goal and get the puck, he's going to be to the left of you, to the right of you, 10 foot out, 15 foot out, whatever. That when you have a new guy that you've only practiced with, you don't know exactly where he is. And it kind of makes you start to think, okay, where do I go with that puck? Even if you think a half a second, that takes away that opportunity that a half a second does. And it happens to all the teams. You bring in new guys, and some can click like that, and others, it just takes time. I thought O'Reilly and Kyrou clicked very well tonight.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. And Perron was all over the place.
Oh, he was. I thought Shin looked pretty good, too.
Shin looked great.
Yep.
I mean, really, you look at the game in a whole, and I don't sit there and say that they played a bad game. It doesn't feel like it was a bad game. I mean, okay, they lost 5-4, but at the same time, you're looking at this team was down 3-1 and came back.
See how
Right?
I
Or
look
down
at it
4-1 and came
the-
back. They
the way
kept
how
coming back.
the way I look at it is, yeah, but they were down 3-1 or they were down 4-1 while they might have had an okay game. Because, I mean, having a good game for 15, 20 minutes doesn't win you hockey games. It doesn't. It's not news. It's just, how are you down 3-0 and then 4-1 to the Sharks? Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't.
Well, go ahead, Lance.
A couple defensive mistakes, especially that one by Dunn. And, people may disagree with me, but there were some shots tonight where Bennington made some very good saves. It could have been 6, that he could have allowed 7 goals. It could have been.
I'm not putting this on Bennington.
Yeah, it could have been. There was a couple shots, like 1 or 2 of those goals where it looked like he was fighting it off or he wasn't seeing it very well. And that just happens from time to time. And I'm not blaming this on Bennington either. I just think that overall, over the 60 minutes, the Sharks look like they wanted it more.
Yep.
I will agree with that. You give the Blues credit for coming back. That's hard to do. Being down 3 goals is hard to do, but to get those quick answers when they were down 3-1 or 3-0 and got a quick answer, they go down 4-1 and get a quick answer. That kind of changed the momentum. And O'Reilly tonight was a freaking madman.
He was good. He was the Blues' best player. He was the reason. He was the absolute kickstarter for those comeback goals. The absolute kickstarter. I'm glad because the first dozen or so games of the season, we were all wondering, when's he going to step up as a captain? He was given the C for a reason. When is he going to show it? And I'll tell you what, last 7 games or so, he's really proven that he deserves it.
Yeah, and it still shocks me to this day that the Avalanche traded him to Buffalo and that Buffalo gave him to us for such a crappy amount back to them. I remember there was a couple Buffalo podcasts that direct messaged me, we took big advantage of you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you?
We'll just see. We'll just see how Patrick Berglund and Tage Thompson end up.
Well, I knew Berglund wasn't going anywhere. I knew Sobotka was. I was the one piece I was sad about there was Sobotka. That was the only one that I was sad about because he had just came back from the KHL and we were all excited to have him back. It's like, yeah, he hasn't been with the team for what was it, like 2 years or something like that, and he's so good, and I can't wait to have him back. And then he fucking immediately gets traded. I'm like, well, okay.
He wasn't the same player this time when he came back from the KHL. He wasn't as feisty or as fiery. He looked a little lazy. And that's one complaint against a lot of guys that come from the KHL, especially talented guys. When they get in the NHL, they look a little lazy because they don't have to work for it as hard in the KHL. There's great players in the KHL, but out of a 23-man roster, you may have 5 or 6 guys that could play in the NHL. The rest of them, they're AHL type talent.
Yeah, I agree there. Sobotka, but you know what? Really, the only one of those 3 that's still in the league is Thompson.
Yeah, Tage Thompson. I watched the game last week he was playing with Buffalo, and I wish him the best. He's a nice young guy, but he'll never be that 30-goal guy. He might be a 12 to 15-goal guy and 10 assists, but he ain't going to be anything special.
Yeah, he wasn't worth the first-round pick, and that's basically the way I feel about it.
No, he was not.
So let's talk a little bit about the third. In the third period, the one of the things that I noticed was the shots just dropped away. The Blues shots in the third period were, and I'm sorry, I thought I had team stats, but I thought I had it pulled up, but I didn't. Shots.
My beard's all over the place today. I'm not sure why it's not.
Okay, so for the Blues, it was 9 in the first, 15 in the second, and 8 in the third. They got 32 shots. They really needed to hit 40 in this game. What do you think led to some of this, to the slowdown, basically?
Well, I think one of the reasons in the whole game, San Jose only had 6 giveaways and the Blues had 12. And some of those giveaways led to shots, several good opportunities to score. When you give the puck away more than the other team, it doesn't normally end up well for you. And they just look different in that third period for most of it. They played hard at times. 2-3 minutes they looked okay and think, hey, I think we're going to be okay. Maybe we're going to get the 5th goal. And then for 2-3 minutes you're thinking, there's no way we're going to get the fifth goal. These guys aren't playing well. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating to watch a team. And, you know, if you played 40 games a year, 35, as players, you could play 100% full throttle almost all the time. But even in a 56 game schedule, you can't be full throttle all the time, because when you do that, by the time you get to the playoffs, you're wore out.
Yeah.
You always give your
Understood.
best effort. You always give your best effort. You don't slack off. You don't be lazy. But there's times where, you know, if you can move around and you're not going to make a mistake, you don't have to give 100%. You give 99%, because those teams, I'm going to tell you right now, the Blues, in the year they won the cup, not every game did they play heavy and just beat the crap out of everybody.
Nope.
There was games where they outscored people and played very well offensively. It's hard to play 82 games heavy. It's very hard, not just on your opponent, but on you.
Well, it showed in Game 3 of that Stanley Cup
Yeah.
final. You know, they were just
Yep.
worn the fuck
Yep.
out. And what ended
Yeah.
up being the final, like 7-2 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was
Yeah.
7-2. Yep.
Mhm.
That was a hard
was a
hard
tough
game
game
to
for
pay
me.
the
That was
Yeah.
one
paid
of
the
the
money I paid to go watch it, but I'm glad I did.
well, that was one of the toughest games I ever watched. You know,
Yeah.
I just remember after that game, I was so like, "Oh my god, we're not going to win." No way.
Yeah, I
There's no
wasn't
way like
happy
that.
with game 6 either. What was that, 5-2 or 5-3?
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like that.
I think
Game
game
6 was
six-
5-1.
5-1, that's right.
Yeah, game 6 was game 3 and game 6 were both emotional games, and
Yeah.
Blues sometimes, when it comes to emotional games, they do not come out very well.
I just
And-
remember
and
like
that's-
after
and
both
I've
those
noticed
games,
that a lot,
I remember both those games were just like they're doing it again.
right?
I remember in the first game they went up 2-0.
Yeah.
You know, against Boston. In that first game, I'm like, oh my God, this
We're
is great.
unstoppable.
And then it became 2-1, and I'm like, I looked over at my
We're
dad.
done.
I said, Dad, I said, we're not winning this game.
That's exactly. No, I saw that first one, that 2-1, because it was like right after the 2-0 goal,
Yep.
and I was just, I remember turning to my grandmother because she was watching it. I was like, "We're losing this game. Don't worry about it."
Yep. And then whenever Krug put that hit on Thomas, it really fell in. I'm like, we're not winning this game.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that's still an interesting hit.
I'm
that-
sorry
that
about
we
the
talked
bad
about.
memories, Mason.
No, that's not. I'm just so mad about this game. Like,
Well-
I'm so mad that I'm not yelling.
Oh, here's my next question, and this one: good loss or bad loss?
A bad loss. Oh, bad loss. Woof! Bad loss. You can't get anything good out of this. I can't. I can't find anything good out of this. You could argue that, you know, the 15 minutes where they were actually in the game is a good thing. No, it's not, because they didn't do it enough. They stopped doing it. They didn't continue it. They didn't keep that momentum going. They just kind of stopped. They had a power play going into the third. Remember that? They had a power play, a minute and 25 seconds
Second
going into the third. They had all the momentum, and they just shat the bed. They couldn't get anything done. That's why that's not a positive. It would have been a positive if they had kept it up until the end of the game and fought till the end and got the lead and maybe won the game. I would have still been upset even if they won the game, because why are you down 5-1 to the freaking Sharks? But at the same time, you know, this is a bad loss. Bad loss. Not even close. Nothing good out of this.
Yeah, there's even when you come back and tie 4-4 and you lose, there's no moral victories. It's a loss.
Mhm.
You know, did you enjoy it as a fan that they were able to come back and tie it? But you got to look at it this way. Why did they have to come back and tie it and score 3 goals to make it 4-4? There's a reason why they had to do that. It's not because they were playing great.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm in between. I mean, it's a loss I can almost live with, and the reason that I say I can almost live with it is because it's one of those losses where, okay, it's a freaky goal. The last goal was a freaky goal that kind of took a couple different bounces that rolled off Bennington's back. This could have gone to overtime too, and we could have ended up with a point. So there's some, if this were the fifth, we'd all be drunk. But at the same time, you find that silver lining where you can, because that's what you want to build on. And I think what they can build on is they're able to get some very good shots. They got some goals on Dubrovnik, who's supposed to be a very good goalie. They got some now. I also see this. They got goals in a way they haven't gotten goals this season. All 4 of them goals were coming at no tips, no. They were coming at the goalie. right? And that's that's something that I take as an advantage. I take it from a good thing that they were coming. I think we play the Ducks next, right? Well, we've got to win those two games, right? We've got to win those two games.
Actually, Sanford deflected that one
The
goal.
Sanford goal.
Oh, he did deflect one.
Remember with the stick, and they had to look at it.
Yeah, because they thought it might have been a high stick.
Yeah. I was going to tell Mason. You know what's funny is people react to Mason complaining and yelling and say, "Man, it's great. It's refreshing." I'm 51 years old. I do that a lot on my podcast. Just ask Guy. He'll tell me, "Lance, you need to calm down." And people say, "You're just a grumpy old man." So it's kind of funny to hear you go on and people say it's great. But when I do it on my podcast, I'm a grumpy old man. So
people like me when I'm angry, apparently. I don't know what it is.
It's just crazy to me. But I think the older generation doesn't appreciate the grumpiness, but the younger generation does. And a lot of people that watch my show are probably over 30.
My fan base is in that 25, 30 range.
Yeah. Most of mine are probably, I have a bunch that are 25 to 30, but most of mine are over 30.
Yeah. My fan base kind of goes up and down, but I think it's for the most part an older fan base too.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's just about time to wrap this up.
Okay.
We play the Kings next. Okay, we got two games against the Kings.
Yes.
That's something to look forward to. What is today? Saturday.
4
I think we play Monday and Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. Have Saturday off. I'm almost done with the Ashley Weiss video. I plan on getting it out tomorrow. It is really good. There was something we were working on, but we got denied. I was real close to her being on my intermission shows. But
I'm expecting 4 points. We need 4 points.
I'm hoping for 4, but anytime Jonathan Quick's in goal, even though he's 34, 35, he can just pull a rabbit out of his hat some games when you think he's too old, and you can play well and put 40 shots on him, 38 shots on him, and he gives up 1 goal. That's what concerns me. Is the Blues have a tendency to make goalies that were good or are somewhat good, make them look great. If they play like they did tonight, they won't beat LA. There's too many mistakes tonight. Well, and I'm hoping I'm expecting 4 points. There's no reason why this team, and I don't care if it's 3-2, 2-1, 1-0, 5-4, just win the 2 games.
I'm with you there. So let's wrap this up, guys. I'll start with Lance. Go ahead and tell us all about your show there, Lance.
You can find us at droppodcast.com. You can email me at lanced@droppodcast.com. Our Twitter handle is Drop Hockey Show. I look forward to everybody sending me emails. I'll answer all of them, even if they're hate mails like Mason and I were discussing earlier. I do get those, and I will answer you. So send the love, send the hate. That's what I'm here for.
I got one of those today. I got a really good one. Called me the F word and told me that I was a fake Blues fan.
Yeah, I've heard those.
This guy called me. Oh, this guy literally, he went straight for the jugular. Said, "Oh, this isn't a Steve Dangle video. Sorry, my bad. I thought it was." Yeah. It's like, I
don't even know who Steve Dangle is. So
you don't know who Steve Dangle is?
How do you not know who that is? That's like who I base off. That's like my dad.
Oh,
it's an unofficial.
Go ahead and look him up. He started on his own, but now he works for Sportsnet. He got a job at Sportsnet. Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Mason. Tell us all about.
I scream in every video. That's what I'm known for. That's the only thing I'm known for. I had a clip go on Reddit. Who actually, I got a clip. There's a clip of me screaming on Reddit. I think it got like 2,000 upvotes or something like that.
Is that your Twitter handle? Is that your Twitter handle? I scream.
Yes, yeah, Blues Fan Reacts. But yeah, somebody got me. Somebody posted a clip on me on Hockey Reddit and got like 2,000 upvotes, and it was just me yelling about the 8-0 loss. You know what else is new?
Great.
So yeah, I'm new. Yeah, I'm known for that, and that's about it. And this video won't be a lot of screaming. So if you're looking for that, don't even bother because there won't be any screaming.
Yeah. Okay, well, I want to thank both of you guys. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Mason. I enjoy you guys coming in. I enjoy talking Blues hockey. This is a lot of fun. So, everyone, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. I want to say thank you for watching the Blue Note Fan Report, our post-game show. And Blues, Let's go Blues, just like the boys say. And this is Guy the Hawaii Blues fan saying aloha, mahalo, and I can't wait to see you on the next Blue Note Fan Report. I'm bleeding blue with you guys. Aloha.
Aloha.